you had a plan before the window with Edu, but I was just wondering, has that plan changed or adapted, particularly given the run of results and players like Smith Rowe coming into the team, or is it the same plan you devised in December?
No, it's not changed. Yeah, there are things that would be possible to do or we were expecting to do and we cannot do, and the opposite way around, opportunities that can arise, but more or less we are sticking to that plan, and we haven't moved much from that.
You touched on a bit there, obviously, with the the squad size coming down. Do you think, I know before you said it was impossible to keep everyone happy, do you think you will have a happier camp now that you've got players out the door?
Well, it would depend a lot on results. I think that's all the time. Sometimes it's very related to the spirit of the team. But yeah, at least to keep the players that are here training with us available and with the possibility to use them, in my opinion, is the most important thing. And I think now that's going to be the case.
And just lastly, someone who could possibly get some minutes at the weekend is Callum Chambers. I know he's been coming back from injuries. Has a decision been made about what's going to happen with him, and could he go on loan perhaps to get some action?
I don't think that's going to happen. I'm really happy with Callum. He's gone through a really difficult period. He's worked so hard. He looks really good in the last few weeks in training. He's not even thinking about his knee right now, so we want to give him minutes when we can, because he's a player that we believed in.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
Just one about Mesut and Sokratis. If we look at their situation together, it's obviously not been ideal that they haven't been playing football for 6 months or longer, and then obviously they've had those contracts that the club has had to settle, and it's been quite a difficult situation for everybody. How does the club make sure that nothing like that happens again?
Well, sometimes it's difficult because the contracts are really close, and you have to respect them once you sign them. And sometimes it's difficult to see how things are going to evolve in 6 months' time. So sometimes it's impossible to see what's going to happen in 3 years' time. We try to resolve those situations early in the summer to try to avoid what we had. But sometimes it's not possible as well. This transfer window and the previous one real complicated one, and we have to assume that we have responsibility with those players, and we have to respond to our obligations, and this is what we did till the moment that we found a solution for both parties.
Do you think there are lessons to be learned though about what happened?
Yes, you don't want to get in this position again, Nick. That's for sure. But none for the player, none for the club. But it's happening more and more at every club, and this situation you can see in other clubs. Things happening like that. I think you have to have that communication open. Obviously, try to prevent them as much as possible. And if they happen, just make decision and don't try to delay a situation that is not working for much longer.
Do you think it's going to help now that the club has got quite a stable executive team, and you've got Richard Garlick joining, of course, to help with contractual things, and maybe in the last couple of years, which we've spoken about before, there has been a lot of upheaval at the top. Do you think it's going to help to have that stability now?
Well, this is what we are looking for. Obviously, a lot of things happened institutionally at the club, and with some of the big decision makers as well, and we're trying to create a really strong team with different qualities that hopefully is going to give us more sustainability and success in our decisions.
I just want to ask you about one other player who we haven't talked about too much recently, Nketiah. I think he's only played 9 minutes in the last month, and I know Laka's been playing very well and that kind of thing, but obviously Eddie was really important in your first few months, and really pressing hard from the front, scoring some goals. Maybe it hasn't happened for him so much this season. What does he need to do to push on?
Well, I would take it more to the last month, because Eddie has played quite a lot of games already this season, and if you compare and you go back what he's done a year ago, so in one calendar year, what he's done and where he was coming from Leeds, where he wasn't playing at all. We were going to send him on loan, and I decided not to do it. And it's a big transformation. He's a young player. He's got some players competing with them in that position. but I think he's done a lot, and his development in a year for his position, if you compare to any other striker at his age in Europe, you won't see many that have played that many minutes.
Do you think he's still on track, if you like, to be Arsenal's number 9 for the long
And
term?
he makes sure every day that he keeps on track, the way he trains and the way he pushes everybody. So I'm not worried about that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mikel.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. John from the Mirror.
Hello, Mikel. Good morning. I just wondered whether I could just briefly take you back to what Gary asked you about Frank Lampard, and as a sort of a fellow manager, just that, I don't know, not sympathy but empathy to what he's going through. Arsenal showed you, understandably and rightly so, great support. You know, things turned around very, very quickly. It's an unprecedented season, isn't it? I mean, just how important is it that clubs back their managers and support their managers, just from a managerial point of view?
Well, I can only talk about what I've experienced here, and what I have experienced, it was a full support in difficult times. Obviously, what he cannot support, the work that you are doing behind the scenes, and the methods that you apply, the values that you are trying to restore at the club, and the style and the model that you are trying to implement needs the support of results. And when they are not happening, everybody is there. Fortunately, if they see what you are trying to do is going to have rewards in the future, and they are a little bit patient, most of the times it pays off, if everybody is convinced that we are doing the things the right way. But I speak with a lot of managers, and some of them, they've been in the game for over 30 years, and they said, I never experienced something like that. This is a new game, it's new rules. There are so many things we cannot control. It's our hands in a lot of moments. So I listen a lot to that, because we tend to put more and more pressure and demand ourselves a lot, and it's a very strange league this season, and you can see that in many teams.
It feels there's a new generation coming through as well, isn't it? I think that we should embrace that exciting generation, shouldn't we?
I think so, and as well, I've known Frank for a few years as well, and I spent some time with him. Yeah, I would like the club supporting him, giving him a chance. He has a huge experience as a player. He's an icon over there. He's done some really good things, but you need time. And if something we haven't have in this calendar year, it's time to work on anything.
Listen, it's been such a long time since we've been at the training ground as the media to see the pictures hanging on the wall. But there's some lovely pictures of you with the FA Cup. I mean, the FA Cup, just purely on that, just must hold so many special memories for you. Not just what you did, obviously, last summer as manager, but you know, that winning that first time. How much a release valve was that?
The
how
first
much
time, it was one of the nicest moments. It was 10 years that the club didn't win a trophy. 10 years for Arsenal Football Club not to win a trophy. And the unity that we created that year, everybody was, again, putting pressure. They won't do it. It's been so long. And we all wanted to do it for Arsene as well, because he really protected all the players. So it was one of the biggest satisfaction as a group, obviously, to deliver that to the club. And you could see the reaction of the fans on the parade the following day. But for Arsene as well, I think it was a moment of gratitude from all the players towards him, and it was special.
I mean, it undoubtedly helped last season, didn't it? This season paved the way, create that kind of...
Yeah, I think it generates a lot of belief amongst the team that we could compete against any team. And the team was having a lot of difficulties in the last 5 years to win against any top teams, and we did it in big sequences against them. And it was just a step. To do it consistently now for 10 months is a completely different story. And this is where we are right now. But it was great, and obviously personally to deliver that to the club in a really difficult year again when we started with this pandemic, just to be able to provide some happiness to our fans. It's all about the job, just to make some people happy and proud of what we do.
Just finally, how important is it, or how difficult is it to make that step from being a cup team to being a team that is consistent throughout the campaign, that can achieve a target of a top four, pushing for the title, to achieve that sort of consistency?
It's consistency in everything you do. Is the way you train. You have to train to win. every single day to be better, to pay attention to a lot of details, to try to improve in every aspect of the game, and to take your level to the excellence is the only way. The standards are so high in this league. In the last 3 years, I think the winning probability of a team was about 45%. Now the big teams is about 70-75, which is crazy. And that's the standards, and you have to hit those standards. And first of all, you have to be able to do it in training. You want to do it in football matches.